perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself, can't get to myself.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as usual, we're starting off with some tape so we get a really crisp, clean line. This one was actually given to me by Tarte and I just think it's the cutest thing ever, so that's why I use it all the time. But then we're just going in with our soft ochre paint pot from MAC, and I'm just applying this with the E37 brush from Sigma, and then I'm taking my finger just to make sure the warmth of it really melts it into the skin. Today we're using the Morphe 35O palette. You guys requested this again, so I've brought it back. Definitely let me know if you want more tutorials using this palette, because I can definitely do that for you guys. But we're just using the lightest shade in the palette to set that paint pot and just ensure all of our eyeshadows blend out really smoothly. I just applied that shade with my E25 brush from Sigma, and then we're switching to the E40 and going in with this light warm brown, and we're just going to start working on the crease and building up a little bit of color and definition. And then I am switching to my Sigma F63 brush, and I'm just taking the warmer brown shade, as you guys can see, and I'm going to start buffing this a little bit more precisely into my crease, building up the pigmentation as desired. And then you guys see me switching back to my Sigma E40 brush just to make sure everything is really diffused and blended and seamless. Then you see me taking this warmer brown shade on my Sigma E45 brush. As you guys will notice, I'm just kind of going up in gradients with the shades a little bit deeper each time. This way it just makes it really easy to blend out all the shades and it's not going to get muddy. And then once I've applied that into the crease, I just switch back to my E40 yet again just to make sure everything is really blended and seamless. And I just repeated these steps a few times until I got the pigmentation I desired. I then took this red brown shade and I started buffing that into the crease on my Sigma E36 brush, and then after I've kind of built up that line and started to get like that definition of a cut crease, I just went back in with the F63 brush that I used earlier just to make everything more seamless and blended. And I did go back in with these steps a few times just to get the pigmentation up. Then you guys see me going in with this deeper red brown again on that same E36 brush, just building up that crease. We're just starting to map out where we want the cut crease to be. And then you see me going back in with that E40 that I used earlier just to make sure everything is blended yet again. You guys will notice that I do switch back and forth a lot between my blending brushes. This is just to make sure it doesn't get muddy or messy or anything like that. And these are the brushes that I used earlier with quite light colors, so they are going to help diffuse everything and make it more seamlessly blended. Then taking this darker brown, it's really deep, but it's still got a lot of warmth to it. I took that on my Sigma E47 brush, and again, we're just building that into the crease. As I mentioned before, you guys see I'm just slightly going up in gradients of shades each time, just because it really helps keep everything from getting muddy and messy, which can easily happen with these looks. And again, I just went back in with that F63 brush just to make sure the crease was blended. And then with this blood orange shade from the palette, I just wanted to add a little bit of warmth into the crease and make sure I kind of had those orangey sort of tones coming through, just so we don't get too dark and grungy. And I just applied that with my Sigma E35 brush. Then taking this teeny tiny little brush with that same dark brown shade we used earlier, this is the F68 brush from Sigma. I just wanted to start creating a bit of a line in the cut crease just so we had a little bit more definition and a little bit more drama to it. And I just blended this out with my E45 brush from Sigma. Then to cut that crease, we're just going in with the Tarte Shape Tape. I believe this is in the shade Light Fair. I'm not too sure, so I'll leave it listed down below for you guys. But I'm just using my E56 brush from Sigma. It's just a flat concealer type of brush, and I'm essentially placing that exactly where I want my cut crease to start and finish. Then to set that concealer so we don't have any creasing, I just went in with my Sigma E55 brush and I just took the lightest shade in the palette and applied that all over the lid. Then to cut that crease a little bit more, I just went in with my E17 from Sigma and I just took the darkest brown that we used, and I basically just drew a line straight above where we placed that concealer and where we were drawing the line earlier on. I just felt like this added a little bit more drama and edge to the look, and I just really like how it just made a seamless kind of cut line, if you guys get me. And then because I'm extra, I just took this shimmery light shade from the palette and I just applied that over the lid just so we didn't have a flat matte base. It's still pretty matte, but I just wanted a tiny little bit of shimmer to switch things up a bit. And then for liner, because I didn't want to use a black liner today, I wanted to change things up. I just used this Tarte Clay Paint liner in the shade Aubergine, and I used that with my B12 brush from Sigma. So I've never used this eyeliner brush before until today, and it actually worked really, really nicely. It was a little bit hard getting used to like the curve of the brush, but once you got used to that, it was really easy to use, and the liner itself is really easy to apply. It does dry very quickly, so I just added a couple of drops of beauty oil just to make sure it took a lot longer to dry, because I suck at doing eyeliner, so it just kind of prolonged how long it would take to dry, so I had a little bit more time to work with it. Then for lashes, I wanted something super dramatic, so I took the Huda Beauty Scarlet lashes. I'm obsessed with these. They are so freaking stunning. In hindsight, I wish that I concealed the lash band a little bit, but I just didn't think about it at the time, so it is sticking out a little bit. It doesn't really look too seamless, so I would just say use a little bit of liner just to make sure that there's no glue or lashes like poking through, if you guys get me. Then moving on to my face, as usual, I'm taking the Benefit Professional Primer, and I'm just applying this in the T-zone area just to hide and minimize my pores and make sure I have a really smooth canvas for when I go in with my foundation. I then wanted to correct my under eye circles because they were pretty bad this day. I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm just trying out the Studio 10 Corrector. It was okay. It was a little bit too creamy for the under eye in my opinion. It just kind of slip and slided around and it didn't really set down a lot. For foundation, I'm applying my L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation in the shade 502, I think it was. I can't remember. I'll leave it listed down below for you guys. And I'm just applying that with my Sigma F80 brush. This foundation is amazing, but this color is a little bit too dark for me. But I was pretty fake tanned at the time that I filmed this, so it did match my body. Then to cream contour, I used the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Rich. I really wish I didn't do this. If you're going to use the Tarte Shape Tape to contour your face, don't use too much. Even this was too much. As you guys will see as I'm blending, it was just so intense. First of all, this shade is way too dark for me. I don't know why I picked up this color, and I just could not get it to blend. I was thinking I was a lot more tanned than I was when I was filming this, and I don't know, it was just one of those makeup days, you know what I mean? I was thinking of just scrapping the face altogether and only including the eyes for you guys, but I just want it to be realistic and show you guys that even I stuff up half the time, and my makeup does not always go accordingly. I then went in with the shade Fair Neutral and the shade Light Medium. I just forgot to include a clip of the Light Medium one. And I'm just concealing underneath my eyes. And I mixed these two shades together just to make sure they weren't too bright. But as you guys can see, they were still pretty freaking bright because it was just one of those makeup days, guys. Like I said, I stuff up my makeup quite a lot. I was trying out new products. I hadn't used these concealers before. And I just am not very good at picking my shades online. So that's just what was happening today. Then I set my under eyes with my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. As usual, I love this so much. It's so finely milled and it just looks so airbrushed under the under eyes. And I then took my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder and I just set the rest of my face because why would I want this amazing base to budge at all? I know, right? It looks flawless. But seriously, this powder is amazing. I recommend you guys picking it up. I love it. Then to further contour my face, because like I fully need it, I went in with my Tarte Park Avenue Princess. As you guys can see, I am like hectically trying to bronze up my neck to make sure that my fried chicken head matches the rest of my body. But seriously, like these products are nice. I was just having one of those days. Then to highlight, I'm using the Tarte Exposed Highlight. I seriously love this. It looks like a glow from within. It's not like a crazy highlight, but it still gives you that really beautiful highlighted glow, if you guys feel me. And then I just went in with blush, and coincidentally I'm using the Tarte Exposed blush, and I just applied that to my cheeks with my Sigma F40 brush. I forgot to mention a few of my brushes earlier on for like contouring and highlighting, so I will leave everything listed down below as I always do. Don't forget I do have a 10% off code with Sigma. It's just kaseyrayton in all capital letters, and that will definitely save you guys some money if you're thinking of picking up any brushes. Then to try and correct this mess of a base, I went in with the MAC Fix Plus spray because it fixes everything. And then I just went in to finish my lower lash line. I just took one of the light brown shades on my Sigma E25 brush, basically just roughly buffed that along my lower lash line. And then I took the warmer red brown shade that we used, and I used that on my Sigma E34 brush, and I just buffed that towards like the outer corner of the eye, but I basically just meshed the two together. And that is the completed eye look with mascara, of course. I can't remember what mascara I used, but they all work pretty much the same. So I really hope that you guys like the eye look at least, even though the face is a complete mess. Then to finish off with the lips, I use this Huda Beauty lip pencil in the shade Medusa. I'm just outlining my lips and overdrawing them as I usually do. And then for the actual lip color, I mixed 2 of the Tarteist matte lip paints together. First, I used the shade Vibing, I think, or Vibin without a G. But I wanted to mix it with this other shade. I think it's called Acid Wash. I couldn't really read it. It either said Ad Wash or Acid Wash. Acid Wash makes a lot more sense. But that is the completed look, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, even though I stuffed up my face makeup and I suck. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one.